हे गुज्जू भाई, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम ब्रो। वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम गुज्जू भाई, आपका स्वागत है स्ट्रीम पे। वैसे मैं आज कुछ सोच के नहीं आया हूँ क्या खेलना है मेरे को यार। मैं ऐसे ही मन किया भाई स्ट्रीम पे बैठने का, तो मैं बैठ के आ गया। मैं कुछ नहीं सोचा है कि आज स्ट्रीम क्या करूँ भाई। क्या खेलना है पता नहीं मेरे को, ऐसे ही मन किया तो आ गया मैं। हे गुज्जू भाई, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम ब्रो। वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम गुज्जू भाई, आपका स्वागत है स्ट्रीम पे। वैसे मैं आज कुछ सोच के नहीं आया हूँ क्या खेलना है मेरे को यार। मैं ऐसे ही मन किया भाई स्ट्रीम पे बैठने का, तो मैं बैठ के आ गया। मैं कुछ नहीं सोचा है कि आज स्ट्रीम क्या करूँ भाई। क्या खेलना है पता नहीं मेरे को, ऐसे ही मन किया तो आ गया मैं।
Just
हे गुज्जू भाई,
another
वेलकम टू द
doorway
स्ट्रीम ब्रो।
to
वेलकम टू
open
द
up
स्ट्रीम
and
गुज्जू
see
भाई, आपका स्वागत है स्ट्रीम पे।
what kind of
वैसे मैं
lifeline
आज कुछ
will
सोच
be
के नहीं आया हूँ क्या
waiting
खेलना
there
है
for
मेरे को यार।
me.
मैं ऐसे ही
Need
मन
to
किया भाई
bury
स्ट्रीम पे
all
बैठने
these
का, तो
fears.
मैं बैठ के आ गया। मैं कुछ नहीं सोचा है कि आज स्ट्रीम क्या करूँ भाई। क्या खेलना है पता नहीं मेरे को, ऐसे ही मन किया तो आ गया मैं।
Just
हे गुज्जू भाई,
another
वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम
doorway
ब्रो।
to
वेलकम टू
open
द
up
स्ट्रीम
and
गुज्जू
see
भाई, आपका स्वागत है स्ट्रीम पे।
what kind of
वैसे मैं
lifeline
आज कुछ
will
सोच
be
के नहीं आया हूँ
waiting.
क्या
Just
खेलना है
another
मेरे को।
doorway to open up and see what kind of lifeline will be waiting there for me. I need to bury all these fears and let them fade away. I'm not scared, I'm prepared to find myself again.
ओके, थोड़ा The one with मौज कर दी. The one who knows infinity. Nice name. वाह. मेरे को एक बात बता दो, तुम मतलब कौन है? मेरे दोस्त में से कोई है कि कौन है रैंडम? मेरे ऐसा मेरे दोस्त में से कोई होगा. चलो यूट्यूब पे कुछ देखते हैं यार. ऐसे मतलब बोर हो रहा हूँ. मतलब मैं वैसे लाइव स्ट्रीम का कुछ प्लान नहीं है यार मेरे पे. मैं कुछ प्लान नहीं किया लाइव स्ट्रीम करने का. आ गया बैठ गया हूँ, देखते हैं कोई है क्या. नहीं. क्या गेम प्ले? भाई कुछ गेम प्ले नहीं है यार. मैं किसी प्लानिंग के साथ ही नहीं हूँ यार. मेरा कोई प्लानिंग नहीं है आज का यार कि क्या खेलना है क्या करना है. मैं वैसे ही आ गया हूँ भाई बैठने के लिए यार. लेट्स गो. एक चीज चेक करना था मेरे को. हाँ. बात बात करके सो जा. हाँ मैं भी वही सोच रहा हूँ कि ऐसे चैट वैट करते हैं देन मैं सो जाऊंगा. 20 HP को नो प्रॉब्लम. हैवान भाई का स्ट्रीम है. कास्टिंग ये नहीं देख. कुछ अच्छा भी नहीं मिल रहा यार देखने के लिए यार. क्या सीन. वाओ नाइट मोड अब एक्टिव हो रहा है इतने समय के बाद. भाई 14 मिनट का स्ट्रीम हो गया यार. क्या हरकत है. वाओ और यहाँ देखो मेरे सब्सक्राइब. भाई वॉच टाइम में देखो मेरे सब्सक्राइब नॉट सब्सक्राइब. 73% नॉट सब्सक्राइब. वाओ मतलब मेरे वीडियोस डेली देखते हैं. चल वाईटी पे कुछ अच्छा सॉन्ग लगा. अरे रेकमेंड कर तू. मैं लगा दूंगा यार. कोई सॉन्ग बताओ मैं लगा दूंगा. चैट में बता कोई सॉन्ग. सिर्फ कॉपीराइट नहीं होना चाहिए ठीक है. कॉपीराइट वाले सॉन्ग से दूर होना चाहिए. पता लगा दूंगा मैं. नाइस वन. ये वाला ऊपर लगा देते हैं. नाइस. कौन देख कौन रहा है. एक ही बंदा ही है स्ट्रीम पे. भाई रात का स्ट्रीम का प्लान बकवास है यार. दिन में आना चाहिए. भाई सैड ब्रो. वेरी सैड ब्रो. कुछ ज्यादा ही सैड है. लाइफ बर्बाद है यार. बकवास है. करेंगे. बोरिंग यार. बकवास में आ गया यार. कुछ अच्छा सोचना चाहिए था आने से पहले. यहाँ पर भी बकवास है भाई. यूट्यूब का रिकमेंडेशन पेज बहुत बकवास है. देखते हैं गेमिंग में क्या चल रहा है. वाह सबसे ज्यादा अभी वैलोरेंट का सबसे ज्यादा. वैलोरेंट का फाइनल स्ट्रीम हो रहा है ना इसलिए ज्यादा. आज फाइनल्स है फनाटिक और सेंटिनल का. देखते हैं आज कौन जीतेगा यार. नाइस. हम वॉच पार्टी कर सकते हैं वैलोरेंट के. यार वॉच पार्टी कर सकते हैं वैलोरेंट का. लेट्स गो.
kind of one of those rounds where you play against the opponent just face first. And honestly, if one person was in mid there, they
Nice
take it down
one.
to Phantom and they run with it. But it was a family photo from Sentinels.
Nice
I
one.
didn't even know. Like, I spammed 3.
हम Valorant watch party कर सकते हैं.
Dan.
Let's go. Watch party करते हैं. Best रहेगा.
Luck will change it for Fnatic. Got the operator in the hands of Durka.
Yep.
Now, the Boombot will get sent forward. There's lots of players here. Nice shot.
There it is.
Nice one.
They're down to 10 HP. The regrowth will heal them up though, and that's going to burn the res. Still, you know, a good pick. Good to get that res out of the picture early on, and Durka repositioning to the upper areas here of the B site on those rafters. And Sentinels with that mid control, they can go anywhere. And
Party and
they're
Vent.
going to make noise towards ropes, but will they commit there?
Ooh, that would be a dirty Viper bite. Mystic holding it ever so slowly. You can see the cam being held by Magnum on the other side, so they don't have to do too much movement on A just yet. Shazam is waiting to hit A. I think they still toy with B and then jump right back through the vents again here. Let's see how they play it.
Yeah, the wall goes up. They go back towards the A heaven position. 40 seconds to go. We'll get that cosmic divide there. That's definitely going to certainly convince Fnatic what's going on. Magnum in this upper position is absolutely key. Trying to find a way to punish Shazam here.
Do they go back?
It's a possibility, but there is a lurk through mid as well. If they are to go back, they may walk straight into Boaster. Oh, and there goes the swing from Magnum. Doma's here as well. On A heaven, trying to hold on to this position. The trades come through. Neural Theft gets used as well to find out all of the remaining positions of Fnatic, and the spike is planted. So that really does put Sentinels in a really good position here. They know exactly where.
Chat में अगर कोई आएगा तो बताना यार. आप किसका support करते हो? I support Sentinel.
The off makes it a little bit harder here. Okay, goes for the Phantom, actually picks that up. Now they're 3 strong with rifles to come back through. Blade Storm's there. Viper's Pit is not something they could really put to use in this, but remember, this was one of those rounds that we have guns being picked up here. And Fnatic to be able to make use of it.
Yeah, it's down to Mystic. Oh my goodness, Mystic's doing a good job, but Shazam's got the position for the punish. There's no time.
Nice one.
That was a good effort though. Definitely got an extra kill to the didn't
Nice.
but still,
Yeah.
you know, 5-1 for Sentinels. They're still storming ahead at this point.
Also another big round that the operator was there for the side of Fnatic. That goes down. That was saved up. Like I said, we usually do Dirk on the Marshall. He didn't go
Clutch
back.
किया Shazam ने क्या nice clutch किया भाई वहाँ पर.
At the beginning of the round.
मजा आ गया.
And then Sentinels knew, all right, well, if they have an op, we can play alts, we can play with the Cosmic Divide.
Nice
and
try,
they hit
Papa.
something very close, very fast, right when they got in the vents.
Let's go.
Fnatic here, back onto Sheriffs. A Spectre there for Magnum. The alts are mounting.
Oh,
However, and Durka
nice.
as well. He is just starting to come
Nice
up.
Blaze
He
Storm
comes online.
shot.
This is going to be a much
It was a nice
Yeah,
one.
that's a fantastic start.
Okay.
You got that Blade Storm. Magnum as a Spectre. There's a couple Sheriffs in the mix. This is very dangerous now for Sentinels. Lost a player, so they would really want to start to think about how to regroup here. But we have a B main info play from Fnatic. So Fnatic are putting the pieces together as to where Sentinels surely should be. They may not expect that Sentinels are still
Hope
playing
ten
well
यहाँ पर kill
passively, though.
निकाल ले.
Back towards B.
Oh shit.
Oh, Magnum's going to think
You.
exactly what's coming right now.
Oh,
There's
yes.
Boaster with the Sheriff,
Oh.
finds the spike, and now it's just 2 players remaining here for Sentinels. They are in so much trouble, and with Doma here around the corner with the Sheriff. Oh, that was the chance. But still,
Nice
Sentinels
one.
alive in this round.
Nice one. Nice one. Let's go
I just love
again.
seeing the good play, Dan. Anybody can win this. The shots people are hitting, the solo one and dones, and almost getting 2.
Oh.
Sans picks ones up there, but it's Magnum again having a week for himself. Many have said it. They usually do not see this type
Oh,
of
fuck.
pressure, this type of potential out of Magnum, and he is firing
यहाँ
on
Fnatic
all
जीत गया यार.
cylinders for Fnatic. Come Masters
भाई,
of Reykjavik. And now
nice
in the
try
grand
था
finals, it
Sentinels
does
का.
not stop for him.
मैं
Picks up the
Sentinels को
round to
support
team
करता
to
हूँ वैसे.
3K and a thrifty. Feels good.
Nice one.
Yeah, such an
Best
important round to pick up. Really does change things in terms
अच्छा
of
try
momentum.
पर किया था यार.
Okay, knows exactly what he
पहले ही
has to
kill
do.
मिल गया था.
Blade Storm is like having almost a higher hero rifle on a round such as this, and you know you've got to get that kill early. You've got to take the risk to do it, and that's another reason why Jet's so good as an agent. You have that dash. You can
Sheriff
make
shot,
really
nice stuff.
extended pushes, and with a weapon like that, like the Blade Storm, That's perfect.
अगर स्ट्रीम देख रहा है तो यार लाइक कर दो स्ट्रीम को
Yeah.
He has on the team
एंड
so
भाई
awesome
कुछ
to
तो
see.
बोलो यार
Well
चैट
moving
पे
forward.
ऐसे मतलब
There's a real
खाली
chance
खाली
for
लग रहा है
Fnatic to
चैट
storm back into this one.
I love that nothing really stops Durka. You know what I mean? He'll have a round where he kind of gets hit up and he may have pressured a little too hard. You think, oh, he'll play timid next round. Nah, Blade Storm, straight up through the gut, goes down mid, takes one down and gets himself back to safeties. Nothing makes him timid, and that's exactly what you need out of a duelist, and that's why Durka's a lot of times on the top of the charts here for the side of Fnatic. Quick tech pause coming in. And
Tech
we'll
pause.
make sure we get through that, let you know what's going on in just a minute here as the teams get a chance to chat it out. So, looking at how this one's flowing.
Okay, let's go. There. फाइनल्स है ना तो ज़्यादा
Well,
That confidence and Fnatic again. It's
10 जो भी
I'm
है
not sure if this was mentioned because we've talked so much about this grand finals now, on and off camera. I'm not sure if we mentioned this off camera, but just seeing
Let's see,
individuals of
guys.
Fnatic in this matchup is
ये
going
कौन
to be
जीतता
so
है
extremely.
चलो ये वाला फुल वॉच पार्टी करेंगे
Chief of those individuals. We need to
yes.
see him having great performances to make this truly competitive against Sentinels. And one extra element to add in to all of this is that this is the grand finals stage. This is to make history. Valorant is a game that is going to certainly have success and grow over the years. And this is a magical point of its time where we're at the first international event ever. So your performance here will be remembered for the end of Valorant history, until the end of time. This is going to be etched into the tablets of Valorant history. So there's a lot of pressure on these players to perform for their regions, for themselves, for their teams, for their
चीज चेक करना है कि मेरा साउंड सही आ रहा है कि नहीं I have to check that. Is my sound perfect or not?
first international event ever. So your performance here will be remembered for the end of Valorant history, until the end of time. This is going to be etched into the tablets.
Yep, मेरा
of
sound
Valorant
ठीक
history.
है.
So there's a lot of pressure on these players to perform for their regions, for themselves, for their teams, for their
क्या है भाई? एक चीज चेक करना है कि मेरा साउंड सही आ हाँ साउंड ठीक आ रहा है मेरा. Nice. Nice sir. Yes, sir.
also,
Party continue
their
करते हैं.
defensive side is also quite strong, but attack is where Fnatic loves to get their percentage in winning, get their advantage. So seeing them kind of falter a little bit on defense to Sentinels makes a bit of sense here. But once Fnatic gets onto attack, then we're definitely going, obviously they have to get the rounds back. I think though we're going to see that aggression that Fnatic were used to, as I was talking before, the round adaptation where they quickly flip the switch depending on what's going on. A lot of times Fnatic strat will be search a site, Durka tags, they get info, and then they'll finally hit something. But they're so good when an ult pops up. Something else happens, and calling an audible to just quickly hit a strat. It's really hard to see in the moment until you VOD review them, but the in-the-moment decisions Fnatic makes on attack are one of the reasons they're such a strong team.
And one thing that Sentinels I think have been doing really well to sort of counter these kinds of things over the course of this tournament is they as Shazam does so much study, it allows them to play more passively because they are able to get more from the small amounts of info that they do get when they're playing passively. Because if you're passive, you're not out there pushing the extremities, pushing for information as much. And so, you're without that info. So it means that you need to really know what these small audibles are and so on and so forth. Like what that really means if you're playing passively. And that's something that Sentinel are doing really effectively. and that does definitely come from their ability to have more prep against their opponents, as well as just having the right kind of minds on the team to do that. I think one thing that I'm going to be really curious about as we continue this matchup, Riv, is that, you know, so far Fnatic haven't really been able to do too much with the early control that they get. They're trying to get early control of B main and A main, and A main seems pretty easy for Fnatic to get because Sentinels are not really defaulting out there at this point in time. But at the same time, Sentinels are playing so slow that Fnatic can't really rotate off of the info they get really early on.
Perfect.
So it kind of discourages Fnatic from doing it, because what they're doing is now spending utility and taking risks to get information that's not really valuable. And so that's a bad investment.
Right.
So what's happening is that Sentinels are playing so passive that they should condition Fnatic to stop doing that. And then that allows Sentinels to have more free reign when they start, you know, jacking up the pacing in their own game.
Yep.
So this is an interesting kind of first dynamic strategically that we're seeing.
Yeah, I love you bringing up the slow play, because it does seem like, you know, you're talking about Fnatic grabbing this space, being able to get locations. And that honestly is one of my favorite things, when you're grabbing info. But if the attackers are info denying and they're not moving, and 5 of them are sitting inside the vent area, and you know it's Sentinels, so you don't really feel like pushing a large flank, you feel uncomfortable about that space you've taken. You're like, is this space giving me correct information now? And it almost nullifies the fact that you've taken that space unless more is taken and figured out, and the entire situation is triaged to figure out what is actually going down. So yeah, the slow play, I think, is really affecting that forward space that Fnatic is taking, to just round out that thought. And Fnatic is kind of reconsidering if that space has been good to take or not. Opening kills from Sentinels have been able to put them on the board a few times here, and they do have quite a good score for themselves to start off. I forgot it now since we've been in tech pause.
I want to say like
Sentinels in the lead.
I want to say like 6-2 or something, 6-3. Yeah, I'm with you there. It's like I'm so like in the kind of round by rounds that I'm not actually tuned into the scoring now. But yeah, it's.
So I think it is.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, I will. Talking about the compositions, I think it was interesting to see Fnatic switch off. I think 100% of the people figured Fnatic would not go for the triple duelist composition. And looking back at challengers, you know, when they played it in the finals, I was like, this is wild. Triple duelist at like end game of a game 5, but they had played that before against Liquid and won. So it wasn't that wild. So you're like, all right, wow, how much does Fnatic, you know, stretch the box? Where do they go outside the box? Here, back to a lot of utility that the teams have been focusing. You get the chance for resets with things like Sage or with Sky.
Hello, bro. Hello.
Hey,
Chicken, welcome to the stream, bro.
That is a bit slower. So here, we'll see if it works for them.
Welcome to the stream.
You get that
Just
split game
Valorant ka
first
watch party
chosen
kar raha
by
hu baith ke.
Sentinels.
Aur kuch kaam
They get
dhanda
their
nahi
bind
hai
next,
mere ko.
though. That man right there, lying back
kaam dhanda
with a
nahi hai.
snarl, going to bind next.
And just as a quick update as well, for the reason with the delay right now is that we have a player that has encountered an issue with his mouse. So the match is anticipated to resume briefly, so stay with us. Here are the grand finals, the Masters 2. And you know, you're talking about compositions, and you know, one quick thing I wanted to point out is that that builds into the points we were making about Sentinels playing more slowly, on this attack especially, is that Tens on that Raze with the Boombot has so much area control as well as answers for the close corners and kind of 50-50 corners that a map like Split is such a good agent in a lot of close and medium ranges of Split. You can play a lot slower. You know, the Showstopper is really good at clearing out corners and entering into these areas. The Satchels as well, of course, are really great for entry. But the Boombot, in terms of that early and mid-round control, is huge, because it means that Tens can show a lot of presence without really having to really necessarily be there. And that exchange, I think, is strategically, you know, really plays into what we were discussing in terms of Sentinel's approach on the attack, which is just to play really slow, play for control, and to get a better exchange out of that utility.
Yeah, for Raze as well, it just seems like she has such good flight paths. You know, the trajectory she can hit, the places she can get, the elevation she can start on. Split is just a playground for her. So it seems pretty cool that we do get her back in the mix for this. still waiting on for these players to get ready and back in. Looking at what I was saying earlier about how Fnatic used mid-round adaptations really good. I don't want to leave people hanging on that because it's really easy to say things. That situation happens quite a bit with how they decide to move with the spike. At the last moment, you'll see them on Icebox. They did it twice, where it was Mystic and Doma. They were dropping the spike to each other on B long. And they dropped it to Doma, and Doma said, it kind of just figured out the thought. It was Doma was like, no, wait, take the spike back, Mystic. This was the round where Doma put his wall down at B Icebox and then got on top of it and pushed. Whereas before, the strat for them was, that's Doma planting with his wall and Mystic just stays back. So they literally just, they probably run it before, but you'll see them dropping the spike to each other, quick thaw, instant hits. They did it again on that Icebox match to the other side of the map where Mystic picked up 3 ult points quick, but the spike was dropped to him immediately after Doma went down to get the spike. They're very quick on their feet with those decisions that I think on attack puts them ahead of most teams here at the tournament.
And I love that you're kind of bringing Fnatic to light a little bit here because, whilst we have our crew, resolving the issues on the ground, let's get to know Fnatic a little bit more.
To represent our region is, let's just say we weren't expecting it. If you consider our performance at Masters 1, we somehow made this kind of miracle run all the way to Iceland, and now here we are. It's making history.
Probably the best gun for the job right now.
Coming into Masters 1, we were expected to do pretty well, and yet we fell short again. We decided to make the roster change 3 days before the next qualifier. So we didn't have long to practice with the 2 new teammates. However, we just kept beating and winning. Hopefully we're going to take the trophy here as well.
You love to see teams that down.
We're bringing something new, something fresh that people haven't seen before, so we'd like to keep it on lockdown. And when we come into these games, we'd like to throw out the cheese, throw out the surprises, and have them try and react on the fly and try and catch them with their pants down, essentially.
On what?
Magnum and Durka. We got Durka, who could be seen as the best player in EU in a few months' time, or even after this tournament. He's the star quality that took us to the next level. Oh, Durka! We got Magnum as well, so he's that consistent, someone that I can rely on kind of character. He's funny, he's charming, he's a great teammate. What I like about playing competitively is the adrenaline, the camaraderie, and just winning. I don't care if they're the seeded 1 team, I don't care if they're the bottom seeded team, I want to smash everyone.
Back to the booster.
Welcome back, everybody. It's certainly great to get to know Fnatic a little bit more. I think you were just talking about some of their playstyles, and I think the Sentinels players. I feel like the NA region in general has had so much coverage, and some of these players are a lot more known due to their background coming from Counter-Strike. Even looking at one of those on screen right now, Sick, for example. Shazam is a huge names coming from Counter-Strike, so it's good to get more light on Fnatic and their players, given the fact that they are pretty damn good, and I think that they are going to be hanging out on this level for a long time to come.
They will. And the firepower they added there, Boaster was talking about a few, was Magnum and Durka that joined a few days before qualifiers. So they've literally been able to slot into the team. It was like a double tens, if you will, for Fnatic there. And both of these teams saw that trajectory after a change all the way through Masters 2. Dominating teams, powerhouse squads, and able to do it in different ways without teams figuring them out. And I think that's also one of the impressive things. It is at the end of a tournament, you are still being fresh. You're still not allowing your opponents to do enough homework to shut you down. A lot of this game so far has come down to firepower. We haven't really seen the utility attacks too much as we're just getting into our first round of ultimates. They're going to be coming up for people that didn't get them early. So we're seeing both teams now. I think the game could start to flow a little bit more evenly. But Sentinel's currently up here as we get this mouse issue fixed up as they verse Fnatic in the grand finals. Our first map here on Split. We'll be going to Bind next.
And this is definitely a map that's, you know, the comfort pick for Sentinels in this series. It's a map that,
Absolutely.
you know, we would expect Sentinels to win and for Fnatic to lose.
He's got
So it should only be alarm bells, really, if this man...
Let the
is
man
able
go!
to lead his troops to success on this map. So I think having even like a competitive, super competitive scoreline, they're going to feel very good, even if they drop this map, Fnatic, because they know that they have the best to come in this series after.
Yes. You know, people use the term national treasure. Boaster is a global treasure. He really is. Just the world thanks Boaster for being Boaster.
Yeah. He's got such an energy to him. It's really cool to see. I forget who made this point. I think I actually heard this on Shao's stream the other day. I think it was maybe the old boys club from the Counter-Strike days. They were kicking it there, and they were just talking about how awesome it is to see in this first LAN event, like how much great energy we have from the players, you know, coming out here and, you know, dancing around on stage and you know, having celebrations. You know, there's just, it's really cool to see that personality straight from the get-go. And that's what esports needs, man.
It does, because you know what? Well, a beautiful rivalry is being created here between the teams. You get those little integral rivalries between everybody, like who's gonna dance better, Boaster or Potty Fan? You know, who's gonna be better at that? It's so amazing. I love it. And then you have Shazam and Boaster with that underlying IGL. Oh! Well, I still going scissors. Oh my word. Tens goes from duelist to support. Of course he loses. Come on. You can't just duelist 3 times in a row and then go for a rock support, man. All right, whatever. Players are wheeling and dealing throughout this tech pause. Is there a mouse? Is there a mouse in the house? Mouse issue? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we'll get back on here. I apologize to all the viewers out there, and thank you so much for your patience.
Definitely. Yeah, this is one of those things about, I mean, you know, we've wanted LAN for a long time, and, you know, it's actually really funny, I think. So, oh God, it's been so long now, but I used to reference when we would have any tech issues on LAN, I would reference this speech that Tasteless used to make many years ago. I think he called it like the vehicle of technology speech or something like that, that he came up with, where he was basically saying, you know, part of LAN is that there's a lot of, you know, moving pieces and there's a lot of tech going on. So sometimes you're going to have a delay, and just, you know, it is what it is. And the interesting thing here as well is that we haven't had LAN in so long, you know? So
True.
It's just, I'm just so happy that we have LAN right now.
I am. But these damn peripherals forgot how to work. They haven't been used on LAN in so long. Keyboard's like, what is this atmosphere? No, but yeah, I hear you. It's true. It's true. There's a lot of moving pieces, and a lot of respect and ups to everybody behind the scenes that continues to keep that working flawlessly. Because it's usually easy to forget that it's working flawlessly when it is. Looking at some of these, we talked about Durka being a huge focus. The Fnatic is really strong once they're moving and they adapt the mid round. I think one of the things we also have to look at for Sentinels here, we're going to be tossing to AD, but maybe just thought they can carry unless they have their own, is, you know, that Sentinels upper bracket has allowed them to go through without showing split or ascent, and they have kind of what's going to happen on these maps. So that is too good map for Sentinels. AD, take it away with this hot segue. Upper bracket has allowed them to go through without showing split or ascent.
Kiki,
kind of
do
what's
you
going to happen
love
on
me?
these maps. So
गाना भी तो कैसा love me?
Sentinel.
It just took too long for you to get the note. You know, I just had to squat it, and you know what the deal is. You know what I'm alluding to, everyone. Anyway, I'm a grown man making that kind of a joke on a broadcast. Anyway, so we are a few rounds in to this matchup, Ventili, and it's clear that we're seeing some agent switch-ups on both sides. We are getting interesting compositions. That's always a fun thing to talk about here. And we're also getting interesting ways on how Fnatic, in particular on the defense, are playing their composition to try and counter Sentinels. What else have you picked up so far?
Yeah, what actually I love about it for Fnatic is, yes, they've been studying Sentinels. They want to try to figure out a way how they can anti-strat Sentinels at the beginning. And pulling out the Sky and a Viper, I think is already very good looking at this map on Split. Off the rip, you're looking at the pistol round. They throw the Viper wall out towards the A choke and already try to flash and get early presence. So already for Fnatic at that point, they already want to set the pace. They want to set the tone. So I love the fact that it looked a little bit jittery when they were shooting, but overall, in terms of how they're prepared strategic-wise, it looked really good. Because when you're thinking about Sentinels, for example, Dapper is always going to be the one that's going to lure towards the A side. So to be able to have like more bodies here towards the A side, play a little bit more close on that choke at the A orb as well, is good ways to just try to get him out of the equation that fast. But I feel that Sentinels at the same time has a different plan too, because a couple of these rounds, when you're putting these bodies for Fnatic on the A side, well, Dapper is working towards middle. Dapper is actually working towards B side, even though his kit's towards A. So the conditioning from Sentinels off the get-go, just from past footage of how they play the game, was a great start for them to get all these rounds on the attacker side too.
And Mitch, to bring you in on that, right? I know, like, you have been commentating these boys for a while now, Fnatic, and there has been this discussion regarding Split. It's like, well, you know, they're not really supposed to win Split anyway because of X, Y, and Z reasons. But it does feel like Fnatic, you know, as they should, have entered this grand final with the mindset of, no, we have put in some work onto this. We know that there's a plan that we want to try and execute on. It just so happens that Sentinel is making that game plan a little hard to push forward with that, you know, given what we've seen from the composition so far.
Yeah, they definitely are. I think this is one of the things we expect from Fnatic, though. They innovate a lot. They manage to constantly come in. It's a 5-map pool. Realistically, you should always be able to add depth in.
Yeah, that's right. Well, folks, I did get word that we are ready to go back into the game. So let's send it over to Rivington and DDK to walk us through the action.
Thank you very much. Here we go again. 5-2 is the score.
Let's go. 5-2 the score.
This
Let's
is
see.
the grand finals of Masters 2 Reykjavik. Europe versus North America, or North America versus Europe. I guess we'll find out soon who is going to be first on the pecking order there as we get to the conclusion of this one. But Rib, we're back into it. Once again, Dirk on the operator.
Slowly moving forward. This is a big round for Fnatic. Not too much money in the bank. If they were to lose this one, the reset, Durka would be about $1,900 strong. So you see how much this round means to them as they continue to move slow.
The
Top
Viper's
versus
pit.
Op about to happen.
That's an interesting choice. You know, what do you do against this Viper's pit if you're Sentinels right now? That's the Sam, that is a dirty beat there onto Durka.
Nice one, Shazam.
Just pulling off of the angle, the timing couldn't have been better for Shazam.
One.
Opening pick. And that's a huge win given the Viper's pit that's on A right now.
Well, the thing is, they throw that Viper's pit down, and you're almost guaranteed to have somebody walk over to Shazam in mid. They're not going to fully commit towards A, so you're already kind of dictating how the map is going to work from that side of Fnatic. However, Shazam hits that shot as they come across, so Fnatic able to dictate it, but Shazam says, I'll get that first shot anyways.
Yeah, nice pick of the camera there, and Sentinels now looking to barrel through B main to find their way into that site. Fnatic are up on B heaven at the moment, trying to do what they can to defend this, and the suck there on 10s, almost getting him in trouble. Magnum going close, Magnum's in trouble, it's going to find the head of Shazam. No trade able to be had there behind the wall. Sentinels still, though, winning the site, doing the damage they need to, but Magnum still has some site control himself here for Fnatic. Still with the swing and another win from Magnum. How is he causing so many issues here? Sentinels, they're really stuck at the back of the site with not too much space to work with. Nice with Shazam there on the knives, able to take down Magnum. Finally, the Sentinels are closing the distance, but now it's on Sick to try to save this one. And there comes the play around the...
Oh, fuck!
Wow, what a beautiful hold Magnum.
Shit, man. Sentinel lose this round, yeah. Fuck.
But he said, no, hide more, just be pressure.
Nice try, Taya. Nice try.
Started getting kills, and there'd be a call out from Sentinels. You almost have to figure out where Magnum would be at that time, and then Magnum again hides, and then he creates presence, and he hides. But he's hiding basically in plain sight right around the corner. So he created so much pressure there. Boaster and Doma here able to finish the round. Fnatic played that so smart. It was actually a chess game inside B side.
Yeah, and that's you know, a quick technical point is
That was a nice
moving
round.
from B main to the site gives the defenders a lot of space that they can defend from. So that's a huge downside of that ice wall. But moving into this next round, the gravity well making life a little bit more difficult here for Sentinels on their way in. But the cage is going to prevent Durka from getting any picks. They're going to run straight into the site, and there's nobody here. It's a free site, but can Durka hold on?
Great damage there. Shazam finishes him after the dash forward, and it's a trade back and forth, 4v4 on the post plant.
It gets a little bit quiet here for a moment as we can see Fnatic trying to coordinate all through screens pretty much. Magnum will come through on the Lonesome out of heaven, but the rest through elbow. Sick is ready with the Sheriff, takes down Boaster, and it's up to Mystic now to try to get that trade. The flash comes in though, and Sick is still alive. Backside, the flashes keep on coming, but so does Sick with that Sheriff. Pulls out the Phantom now, looking for the next battle. Out comes the Sheriff. This is so labored here for Sick. He's got to get
Oh,
the
fuck.
spike, but Magnum has just enough time on the defuse. Fnatic pick it up.
Shit, man.
To bring it to 4 against Sentinels.
Sentinels again lose the one.
Fnatic's retakes
Okay.
here. So much stronger.
It's okay. Sentinel is,
I'm recalling
can
here
win
that
it.
they were having a bit of
Can
trouble
win it.
continuously getting into each site, then holding. The post plants are just really.
They're
there.
playing very good.
4 to 5,
And
they
Fnatic
are
is a
finding
nice
out
team. It's a grand final
to
match.
allow
It's
Durka
going to be a
to
very
continue
nice
to follow the full
competition.
Utah after a bit of a mishap.
And it needs
Here
to.
they-
Then
these
it will
rounds
be
are
a.
big. Remember, we said Fnatic's probably going to get most of
It
the
will
rounds.
feel like a grand final.
It is great that they can start picking these up.
Oh wow, Shazam getting a pick very early on here. Now the question is, what is the response from Fnatic? You can't really take a loss that early on lying down, but I mean, Tens is going to force the issue, goes through, actually kills himself with a showstopper as well as the Doma. And now it's a 3v3, Magnum's holding on to B Heaven. Sentinels might want to try to reset the situation here, especially after that neural theft. We might see Sentinels slow this one down, but Shazam's still pressing, and he will find the kill.
The double neural theft. The one actually played off of the blips there. You can see how it became the upper hand for Dapper. And now Durka looking to save this operator. It should be decent money still for Fnatic, depending on how much they win in on econ and utility from round to round if they had to rebuy. It could just be a sheriff round for them again. But it is going to bring us up to round 11 after this one. 5-4 so far. And again, we got a round for round. And this is what happened last time, Dan, is in Icebox and Haven when we got these maps between these two teams. The previous maps, it was round for round, 13-11 and 13-10 were your scores. And I think we're going to get a very similar series here.
Yeah, definitely. This is a great matchup, and this is, you know, it honestly feels like a pretty good start for both teams at the moment. Again, just recognizing that this should on paper be a stronger map for Sentinels. Sentinels on paper should be winning this one. You know, and the series is going to be close, even with that happening. And we get, you know, we see that opening there. That's how he's able to get the pick onto Mystic. Beautiful dash up drop timing. And look how quickly Sentinels also just moved after that pick. They definitely didn't want any time for Fnatic to regroup there.
So always this A wall. Mystic stays true to that, making sure the A retake can always be thwarted or kind of slowed down if they are heavy rotating somewhere else. It looks like they aren't paying attention to mid anymore for Sentinels. They say trap the vent area. We want to be able to focus on sites 3-2, and we don't want to worry about mid until something happens there. So they've kind of left that open to strengthen the sites a little bit more on the side of Fnatic's defense now.
And I have to say, Rib, I love what Fnatic are doing right now. They're just holding B main. They can give up B Heaven completely.
Yep.
And if there was a rotation back to B main for Sentinels, Durka's going to get picked with the operator. So this is a really cool adaptation from Fnatic, a mix-up. And Sentinels might not be ready for this.
I mean, it allows them to info deny more. And this is what we talked about before, as we said, this is where Fnatic wanted to grab space. Well, now they can allow the space they don't have to just rest. They don't have to worry and feel like they aren't getting a return on the information they're getting. So now it is up to Sentinels to make the next move. This is where Sentinels would be getting information in the previous rounds. Now they're forced to walk forward. They do get a wall, so they're stopped in their tracks. But that's not really much info, or they put up a wall, I should say. So you will get a reaction there from Fnatic to start.
They heard Durka shoot in B main as well, so they've cut noise. I think they want Durka to rotate, but in they go through to B main now. After that long delay, Sentinel's trying to remove Fnatic from position, but all they have is position right now. Boaster drops down into Dapper. He's got basically no time to plant this spike. Given that it's up here, up the rope, I mean, he might have just enough time here, but they are going to spring on top of it.
Gonna have to peek shoot.
Dapper find a way to make this one work. Magnum will put him out of his misery. And Fnatic will clinch the round. Beautiful hold from them. Didn't bite that long delay from Sentinels.
Yep. Really great. And Boaster here.
Yeah, booster.
Like roaster. This guy just roasting everybody that comes
3
around.
kills.
Vibing
He
at that
got
spot.
3 kills
One
there.
EXP, gets 3. And I love the way that
That was
Fnatic
great.
made the final kill against Dapper as he came around. If both of them peak, that's the collapse. That's the lineup. Except Mystic was like, you peek. Magnum, you have a judge. Go do that. That's cool, fine. And they play it that way. Fnatic goes ahead, grabs up whatever rifles they
Feeling
can.
sleepy,
Feeling
man.
better now as they start a bit of a bankroll here and possibly tie up the first half versus Sentinels.
Cage up there will get Sentinels looking to shove all in, it would appear, towards this
Big divide.
Cosmic divide comes through, and Sentinels looking to get some
Spike's going
kills
up.
here. Yeah, I think they're just trying to provoke a reaction and try to get kills.
Right.
And interestingly, there's 2 players on the site here, and Mystic's somewhat alone in Heaven. So there might be the opportunity to spring onto that position and take Heaven control, and then things will get very weird. Then Sentinels would have the option to rotate through mid.
So the Cosmic Divide is down from both sides there. Durka opens up on Shazam for the Jet on Jet. And 45 seconds left in this round means A is most likely going to be the full commit here. And Fnatic is absolutely ready for it. Already set up, sees the stars coming through. Here comes Shazam, it's gonna be the 5v5.
Oh, and he actually pops the knives as well, Shazam. Oh, over the toxic screen! Shazam's doing damage, takes down Doma, and Six also able to get rid of Mystic from A Heaven, so this is a good effort right now from Sentinels. They're pulling ahead in this one. Fnatic are struggling. It's down to Boaster, and he is not going to be able to deny the plant of the spike. This is a very difficult
Yes,
position
we
for
got
both
this
sides.
round.
Sentinels not with the
Gonna 7-5.
into this round, but
5
finding a
now.
way to make it work.
Nice round by.
Needs to get
Was a
needs
nice
to be
round.
totally on top of every single
Let's
shot.
go, guys. Let's go.
Sentinels are disciplined and methodical.
Look at, you hear the jump in the back?
Oh,
Action jumps. Playing mind games over there. I mean, it's not much of a round for Fnatic to try and grab that. I mean, they're not going to be able to, rather. It would be very tough. Boaster would have to hit all 1 taps there.
we got that
So
round.
Sentinels just jumping around to get
Sentinels
one
got that
after they
round.
pop out in the moment.
It was a
Quick
nice
back and
one.
forth. So you see there, Sentinels as well are ready to initiate with something that heavy just to take position, just to read how their opponents will move.
Wow, bullet
Just to
train?
divide
ये
the
कहाँ
field
पर?
on
कौन
both
सा
sides
area है
and
भाई?
on both sides. It was just about grabbing
बुलेट
ground,
ट्रेन भी है
getting
स्प्लिट
the
पे?
rotation,
मैंने ये नहीं देखा यार.
after you get that information, then running your
I never seen it.
for the
Bullet
side.
train is there in
Fnatic 5 here to
Split.
Sentinel 7 as we get into the second half. What a first half by both teams. Easily could have been a 6-6 as we just saw, and we'll see how this works out. A bit of a default here from the side of Fnatic as they start off.
And wall going up immediately there. Does take a while to deal with those pistols. Sick just slowing things down, and this is a win for Fnatic early on. Sick burning all of this Sage util. Very quiet here as
I think this is gonna win by
ambling their way
Fnatic
up
this
here.
round. Thinking maybe.
Little noise, poison orb out, so they have full control over what would be vent side now. They can decide to hang out here. Only 3 towards mid though. You can see how much Fnatic are saying Sentinels loves to push, or at least have 1 push. You still have Boaster on one side, Doma all the way on the other. So the intention there is to try and read Sentinel's aggression here right off the rip. And it doesn't look like they're going to give too much. Info denial pretty much from both sides here towards the middle of the round with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, it's going to have to be that B push coming through now here for Fnatic, surely. But actually, no, they're going to fake it. And Sentinels are pretty ready for this. They have three players ready on the side to defend. In comes the gravity well as well. That's a perfect timing to slow things down. That very well tees up Shazam for that frag. Fnatic are gonna just try to barrel onto the six still elbow.
Sick.
Is immovable from that position.
What the fuck was that?
They're gonna be pulling
By
ahead on
Sick.
this one.
Nice classic
Find the player
headshot.
they were looking for.
Oh shit.
And
And
this is what we talked about earlier, Rip, too. You know,
Nice
Sentinels are
one.
good at playing passively on their defense.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to play against.
shot.
What?
The shots. What was that? Literally.
Literally
classic.
shooting on point when the next shot could come back up.
Literally on
Just
classic.
before finding that
Great.
kind of rock you get from landing back and forth. Wow, that was something else from Sick. Quick, slow, strat shut down, and he just says, I'm throwing it out anyways. So they know they'll have to figure out if it's going to be the Sheriff and regular save. They do hear a few Sheriffs out there, DDK, so Tens, well, he tries to figure out more of what's going on. It's going to be the util combo. Nobody, oh, shot in the face, almost fell prey to a paint shell there.
Yeah, another reason, you know, we know that Razor is so good. Just paint shells, really excellent at pushing people back or middle.
I mean, there is quite a gray to split. It needs some paint. Here we go. We're going on to A. Let's see what Fnatic have.
Yeah, Zom's there, elbow. Actually, in a somewhat scary position. Tens will come through to lend him a hand, though.
And jumping.
And looks like he'll be cleaned up quite effectively here. Two players lost. That's actually, I think...
Oh,
Boaster.
great
What?
job.
What?
Third frag found from Boaster. On that Sakura classic. But
Yeah.
we'll take him down. But 3 kills, I think, that's more than you could have expected.
Okay.
Fnatic.
That's a
Got-
big hit.
Sentinels
on the
got that
money
rounded
side of
sub.
Sentinels, especially the way they like to play, trying to get Shazam and op pop.
I want
possibly. Maybe
Sentinels to
here.
win.
I think Shazam shies
I
from the op,
supported it, Sentinels.
as we see it a bit on the defensive side. We did see him do it on offense, but maybe they'll answer back to back here. So he goes for the judge, which makes me think he may have an op in the near future with going light buy-ish now to keep it for a few rounds if they can.
Fnatic going quick here towards this A site. This
Oh!
Bombs is
Oh!
good.
Oh!
Oh man.
Oh my word.
Shit.
Astra Stars though.
Astra.
Being very effective here for Sentinels. Shazam's lurking with a judge. This seems very difficult, if I have to say, for Fnatic. They're getting pulled apart. Player by player here. Oh. Magnum able to find a couple kills. Mystic also chimes through. Mystic has just made himself a 1v2. Definitely quite doable. With minutes to play with, he could, in theory, walk all the way back to B. That is a possibility here for Mystic. Would have
Mystic
to cross,
is-
though.
He's spiced up a few rounds, honestly. If we remember his Icebox round, the pistol he clutched with a double pistol and then defuse, he is great in these tight situations. It's usually we're watching somebody else on the team like Durka or Doma or Magnum kind of flying around. But the Quiet Viper, the info grabber here, Phantom in hand, definitely able to make this play as Mystic loves these kind of intense situations.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, using the orb to suggest that he's actually using the orb as a fake. And so Sentinel's not buying it at all, but it's very smart from Mystic here. And now possibly, got to have the right timing, but Zoms is going to have that better timing. Finds Mystic. I think Mystic played that extremely well, but it will be the 10th
Game is
round.
of Sentinel. Next round will be a eco.
They're 3 away from
And
taking map 1.
I think in next round, Sentinels are gonna win.
Beginning of this
It will be 11-5 now. I hope it will be 11-5.
This was one of the ones, as we said before, as we kind of just recap
Let's see.
those maps out of Challengers 2 all the way through. Split was played 10 times by Sentinels with a great
Let's
win
see,
rate on
let's
that,
see.
and only 3 times by Fnatic. So teams have practiced it and they've got themselves rounded. It's much different than the stage game, and you're seeing the comfortability of those 10 plays, of the consistent competitive testing that Sentinels was able to get here. Going through 10-5 now, as you said, Dan, and we're going to see another A strat coming now out of Fnatic.
Yeah, very fast push there up a ramp, pressuring A Heaven, taking that away from Sentinels. Boaster actually picking off Zombs here, so they have site control. Oh, Shazam sprays through the poison orb. That's going to slow down the spike plant. Sentinel's being held at bay by this poison orb just for the moment. Just enough time to get that planted. Not really any post-plant positioning here for Fnatic. It's going to be a hard hold, but that's a good start there from Magnum indeed.
Nice Viper's pit. What do they have? Can they throw a cam in there? If it's up, cam's not up for him, so we won't be able to use it just yet. It's kind of have to be the run and gun. Tens does have 2 blast packs and the judge if he wants to fly in. They find the right corner. The high walls of Valorant allow you to just kind of draw your cursor down the wall, find the angles, and that's exactly how they find that kill in the Viper's pit. Now into the site.
Nice start by Doma, though. Oh! 2 quick kills with that Sheriff, and now suddenly Dapper's without any time here. There's no time for him to actually do this one anymore, and they're just trying to get out of there. Dapper's going to at least try to make it hurt, but no, Mystic actually denies Dapper. Will go down, but he got the kill on Dapper, and that's Fnatic with the 6th round now, and that's a really impressive round.
Work. I
Doma's
think that
is something else. Oh my word, he continues to come up with this. Magnum as well with the sneaky sneak, says hello, thank you, gets a peek once, and says, nah, you don't even get a second chance. Another headshot. Wow, Doma wins that round for the team. That was absolutely huge for Fnatic.
And that kill from Bosa with the Frenzy, how does he outperform, I think, a Phantom or a Spectre, even a Spectre at that range with the Frenzy? Unbelievable there. Really crazy that Fnatic won that round. And look what it's done to Sentinels. They're down to pistols here. It's just a bunch of Sheriffs themselves and a Frenzy. So we'll have to see if they can somehow thrifty this one. Shazam does have the Blade Storm. Couple knives out. Still looking for the kill. You'd want to see Shazam do what Durka did in the first half. Find that aggressive pick, dash away. That's what he's looking for. 2 knives gone. Can he find it with the last one? Oh my god, it's so intense. Shazam.
They don't want to give him the give me that back.
Everything.
Boaster says, push me. They're ready. So Boaster's saying, okay, we're playing with Shazam in mid. Everybody rotate deep back spawn all the way through where Magnum has been grabbing a bit of info. No push, no nothing. Might have heard those stars go down. You can see Divide gets put up towards the left side. This triggers what would be a B execute, but now they're about to hit A, and it's only going to be Zoms.
Zoms, though, he's actually able to take down somehow perfectly. Still 4v4 though, still a plant here coming through for Fnatic. Still Shazam with that 1 single knife. Is he able to get a headshot with it? That's the question. And refresh those knives. If so, there's a real opportunity here for sure. With that jet. Trying to get that info.
Like it. This is where all those days of watching Shazam in the range doing jumping 360 headshots with knights come into play right here.
Just needs that one frag. Oh! Did as well. The dash comes through. He's going to whiff. Doesn't matter. Oh! Goes Shazam! Finds another. The updraft over the top here as he tries to find the... Oh my god, Shazam! He's making this one work. It's down to Sick now, but there's just so little time here to get this defuse. Sick's going to get the kill, but they're going to make that one truly hurt Shazam. Oh, how does he do it? How does he do it?
I don't know, but that's
Shazam with that last single knife. He refreshes.
I think Shazam won there for himself, and Fnatic won the round. Damn, it's so fun to watch these games, DDK.
They lose it, but it was
around Fnatic, however, bringing it back a little bit closer for themselves to make this a punch-for-punch first map split. 10-7 as they
have to win this. Sentinels have to win more 3 rounds.
For them. Let's see if they can keep that momentum going.
Yeah, what Shazam did there ruined the economy of Fnatic. If Fnatic lose this round now, they're down to a save, so and that would have Sentinels effectively on 12 rounds. So that huge round here. We get an early Trailblazer actually sent through to B there for that information, also to suggest to Sentinels that there might be some aggression towards B. There's actually 2 players on B anchoring it, and only 1 on B Heaven, so no mid presence really at all here for Fnatic. Sorry, for Sentinels, I should say.
Right. slowly walking it out, making sure nobody comes down at least. But that's about it. They will start to push up slightly. They want to grab a little vent control to make sure the rotation is theirs. Also, being pushed this far up as well, excuse me, for Zoms, you get a lot of info, a little audio cues, footsteps, people leaving A heaven. It means a lot more. You don't always have to be shooting people. Your positioning on a map can just deliver you so much information. Now you also have Dapper in that situation, event, and they're waiting to get this play as Shazam gets himself pinged out and found
30
out.
seconds left.
Is going to be opping on that defensive side with the operator, though. Said he might shy away from it, but nope.
Oh my god. That's delaying so much. Those smokes, you can't really push those smokes. And they're going to have to go towards A here to try to sell this as a fake to at least try to make the entrance to be easier. And it might actually be the case here because Fnatic are going to get themselves across, but maybe Sick can deny the plant. There's no time here. There's no time. They've got to try to plant this one. The trade does come through.
Oh, they're going to get it.
Deny Sick. And indeed, with half a second remaining, they pick it up. And now Sentinels have to retake, but they do have this upper position. However, this lurk from Boaster could be everything if he times it correctly. Can't be too quick, can't be too slow.
Oh, Boaster.
It's a delicate dance, and he's going to absolutely nail Shazam. One more player to go, and he can just try to pressure here. And then comes his teammate Doma in for the assist. And then that leaves it on Dapper. Dapper is not looking good from this spot. There's the tap. And Doma finishes him off. Fantastic defense there of that spike from Fnatic.
अब एक kill चाहिए था यार, पूरा plant चला जाता यार.
I am keeping
That one kill. अगर वहाँ पर देख, ये वाला kill अगर नहीं निकलता ना, मैं literally कहता हूँ वो game अपना था.
Look at Doma. What is this? That was orchestrated perfectly by Fnatic. To just be waltzing around Sentinel's defense, and they're still wondering what's going on. That's turned on. The momentum is there. Let's see what they got here coming into round 19.
Yeah, we talked about how losing that round for Fnatic would break their economy. Well, the reverse has happened. Fnatic have broken Sentinel's economy, really. They're stuck on pretty crappy weapons, except Dapper, who does have the best gun in the game, of course, in the judge. But with that said, we'll see if he's able to use it here, because Fnatic, what you would want to see from them is teams at all levels really should have an anti-eco, anti-force buy strategy that is specifically designed to deal with buys like this. So you maximize your own strength with the rifles and the superior utility and armor, and you minimize the strengths of your opponents, which is usually the numbers or playing close angles. Or these are the spots where they're going to get kills. So see Fnatic now looking to close towards the A site, but that is actually where the most
I think it would be A
at this point.
Again, Viper Wall off-site for what they want to do. Activating the smoke over on B currently. That's what Boaster just did. Activated the Heaven smoke as well as they hit A with all those Astra Stars, and now Shazam's going to start him off.
That's a good start as well for Zoms, actually, as he's holding backside still. That's a spike down as well, so the true intentions cannot be questioned as the evidence is there. Magnum trying to wrap his way around. Dapper just causing problems. Still takes down Sick. Does not care about Dapper's cam shenanigans. And it's all up to Dapper, and he does not have the tool for the job. Boaster nails him, and that's the round for Fnatic. Great anti-save there. And that's 9 to 10. This is going to be scary now for Sentinel.
The easy one.
Absolutely, and this is what we
Means,
said before.
I want
Boaster
to
said
say
it, repeated
that
what he said.
the
We
eco,
are a
but not gonna easy.
momentum-based team. And you can actually look at it off the play we just watched. They run around the backside. Exactly. Sick goes, wait, what? He got hit with momentum. Yeah, they darted out a Fnatic player, but Fnatic knew exactly where the rest of the rebuttal would be from Sentinels, that they could run through the defense, and that momentum is giving them the agency to continue to control these rounds. Is it shut down, though, as Shazam with one shot there? Durka comes in, takes down Tens. Is it another? Yes!
Durka just truly bloodthirsty there, charging his way forwards. Another dash comes in to try to keep that pace high, taking that B side by force. And Sentinels don't have too much at the moment. They're regrouping, but Sick might be able to find something as these Fnatic players scurry into post-plant positions. Have to get the plant first, though, and Sick is going to try to drop in as Dapper also gets that angle, but it will just be Dapper left standing there now. As Zoms replaces Six's position, perhaps, up on this high ground. But again, there's so many Fnatic players here. Spike now just being planted. Dome is going to hear everything. Oh, the cam tag comes through, and Zoms will get traded out. Fnatic! It seems like they're doing it right here on Split right now, Riv. 10 to 10. They tie up the score.
Absolutely. The rounds
It was at 5-7 when it started. Then it was at 10-6, I think. Or 9-6, something like that. It was 10-6 or 9-6, something like that only.
And it's going to be tough. This is when Fnatic knows that, I'm sorry, this is when both
They literally
start stretching you even more thin, or even thinner, I should say, in this situation. When they can start pulling agency to one side, Sentinels is going to react a little harder, bite a little more, and Boaster and the squad are being able to use that rotation perfectly. Seekers are out for this one as they're guaranteeing themselves little bits of advantage.
Yeah, such quick space you can gain with the Seekers going in front of you there, and Fnatic once again running the same play here. Durka charging his way forward. Not too much here for Sentinels to defend this one, as they are now stuck outside of the sites. They've been locked out. And Fnatic holds the key. Spike now free to be planted. Shazam's been spotted on the flank. Magnus will be very cautious. He doesn't go down here and give up that Phantom. It's almost better to stay alive and just keep Shazam on that frenzy than risk the engagement. Oh, wow. A little alcove there. The Doma. At Viper's Pit, too. They are trying to lock this in.
And remember what I said about Icebox, is that they will use Cosmic Divide and Viper's Wall almost simultaneously. That with lockdown things, they love to do it. On Haven, they'll do it as they run up to the site and just slam it down. Cosmic Divide goes up, Viper's Pit just grows through it, and you're like, oh, by the way, we have two things to get through. So the Cosmic Divide into Viper's Pit is a tried and true Fnatic love there, and they successfully grab another round with that strategy.
And now Fnatic are in the lead.
Yep.
And we are coming toward the final rounds, the final moments of map 1 in this
row now.
best of 5.
Doesn't seem like Sentinels can stop it. Their defense is just falling apart each time. The ground, so it's Fnatic gaining this ground now. In a game where Sentinels wants to try and info deny, the ground they're giving up means Fnatic is on the front doorstep when they're starting the attack. And that has not been an adaptation Sentinels has changed to just yet. Fnatic saying, thank you so much, we'll take the room. Here again, anchoring towards A with the spike for Fnatic. And we'll see if they can get some info here. It is a bit of a stack towards A, so we'll see if this plays in Sentinel's favor.
Yeah, Sentinel's trying to mind game Fnatic here, just as you say. Sentinels gets that kill in mid, but
let's go 10.
With fast mid B splits, Sentinels are like, we don't think we can do that again.
Kill him.
They're actually, as you say, very well equipped to hold this push as it comes through. They'll give up a ramp, but still, lots of position. Oh, a tiny gap for TenZ. Whoa! Find that frag onto Magnum, and now there's 2 more. And Fnatic are in a very, very difficult position. They have to figure out, okay, we can't fully commit to the A site. They're going to try to rotate, but it's going to be a fake, and it has to be because Viper couldn't be with them. Mystic couldn't, with the spike, be with them. So they have to sell this one by getting kills.
Sick and Dapper have not moved. Sights are being anchored on both sides now. Fnatic is pinched.
Oh my
Mystic
god.
with a great shot onto Shazam as the poison orb comes up.
There's the whip of the showstopper. There might be a few magical elements coming together here for Fnatic, but Zom's backside will shut it down. Doma, I don't know if he's gonna have much time here. There's the peak, there's the delay. It's gonna be impossible thanks to Dapper's position. Sentinels tie up the score 11-11, but that was crazy.
I haven't seen much from Zoms this game, but you know when he's tucked into the back of a site, he's good for 2, he's good for 3 there, picks up some big frags. I don't even understand how you see this TenZ. Picks up a kill there, and great job by Zoms at the back of the site to make Doma work for it. That was a much-needed round. That was 6 in a row until Sentinels was able to stop the bleeding right there. They bring it back into their favor, but the bankroll from Fnatic...
Really won 6 in a row.
And Shazam's in this mid peak, this rose peak, but denied by the Astra smoke. And it's a very slow pace here from Fnatic. in this default. After a bunch of fast paces, medium paces, they're just showing absolutely nothing. Oh, Shazam though will peak at the right time, but doesn't land a shot. And Fnatic now have that delayed mail control.
They're doing a bit of a rotation game. Tens wants to get out. They just shot for Shazam there to pull towards Tens because they don't think the operator's going to come out of vents. What a play by Sentinels. It is Fnatic in the site already, but here comes Tens.
Oh, they don't have any idea about Tens' position. He's going to take down Durka. The trace through from Magnum, but it's up to Shazam. Backside! There's the updraft. Pushes forwards. Shazam can't make it work off the second right click. It's up to Dapper and Zoms to hold this one off.
Beautiful.
No!
It is, and that leaves Zoms. Zoms' position to spray! It's not great! Mystic locks it in for Fnatic. 12 rounds for Fnatic. Could be in on an first map. Again, I can't really emphasize it enough. This is a map that on paper, you would expect Fnatic not to be winning. And it didn't look like they would at the beginning of this. In the first half, it was all Sentinels. But right at the end, it's looking like Fnatic are ready to close this one down.
I'm really glad you brought that up because this will basically flop what the map choices look like. This was supposed to be an almost surefire map for Sentinels. With the way they came in, how many times it was played, the practice they would have had, and that boot camp for Fnatic absolutely paying off. Competition practice or not, they're able to keep stringing together these wins here and figure out what needs to be done to win the rounds no matter what. I think that's one of the things that makes us so excited across the board to watch these teams is the minds behind the teams always making it work in the toughest of situations. Here we have round 24, possible game point for Fnatic. No real ground has been gained just yet, and Sentinels still have Spike down as Durka has fallen.
Yeah, Durka's been having a rough game of split so far. That's okay because his teammates have certainly been doing a really great job. Such a great team effort here from Fnatic as they have mid control for now, but Tens' peak could mean a lot. We know what he can do with the Sheriff. And straight into his crosshair goes Boaster. That's a weapon for Tens. There's no one to really protect that. Tens doesn't know that, and here comes the push to Fnatic onto that B site. Looking good here to try to recover, but they're still down. In fact, down 2 players. Shazam peels away one more.
Oh my word.
2v3 here for Fnatic. Now just down to Doma. Sentinels looking to bring this one to an overtime, but Doma, maybe he can still deny it. He has the spike. There's the bait, and it's going to work for Sentinels. We're going
12. Damn it. It's gonna so intense.
Wouldn't want it any other way. Frags across the board for everybody. Look it up there. I think you got 2 triple doubles. It would be on the side of, I think Fnatic is on the left side there. I'll have to see the scoreboard again if we do, but everybody is putting in work right now. And we see the end of this round coming through. So, we break it down now to the overtime rounds. Everybody's going to have full util, full guns. We'll see if we get the naked op in there. That's just the purchase of the op. You're not going to get anything else. Doing the two-step. So, no operators coming out. We see the Phantom being favored with a few Vandals in hands for those one-taps. We'll see what the angles are here. The Viper wall's over towards A. Fnatic is on defense to start our overtime round with Sentinels on attack.
And Durka, gotta be careful. The dash comes through. The gravity well will be expended there. That was there to try to catch any aggression from ropes. Of course, Durka's able to escape. And so that's an early victory here on map control for Sentinels in this round as they force Durka away. But Durka is rotating through to B Heaven.
Sentinels have to win this.
And Sentinels, there's a lot that they can do here. They can pressure ropes. They can try to take B Heaven.
Heal comes in.
Oh, nice one.
Durka goes down. First blood going to Tens. Boaster looking to get set up here by Doma, but they have to watch 2 positions. They could be in a bad spot as another Nebula goes up, and they're entering B.
Oh, that's a pretty damn good flash, and that's going to be enough to punish Tens. Mystic will try to swing through, but unfortunately for him and for Doma, they can't make that
30 seconds left.
that defense work out. And Magnum's just got so many players left to deal with.
Magnum.
Just 46 HP. It's gonna win.
They're gonna throw
They're
the
gonna.
sink at him.
Yeah,
They're gonna win. Nice one.
down there for Magnum. And that's Sentinels
They
closing out
won
the
this.
first round of overtime.
Switching sides.
They have to win
You
this.
gotta say his name again, Magnum. What a stat line so far. What a last few days of play. And honestly, really showing why he belongs up here at this caliber of play. It's been something else from him. And on the Sentinels, on the things that aren't really able to get utility ability.
Let's see who gonna win.
For the team, and it's really awesome to see. 13 to 12, game point now for Sentinels on your first map of the best of 5 here in the grand finals. And it looks like as Fnatic go to attack, they will be leaning towards that B side. Anchors on mid and at A.
Yeah, and I really love the Ice Orbs. I just love how they use it at the beginning of the round. It would slow down Fnatic's aggression there. They would have to use a little bit more utility because when that Ice Orb is up, those defenders could be in more forward positions, so you have to take more care. It's a very, for all the poker players out there, very plus EV, plus expected value on that Ice Orb, given that it only costs 100 credits. And you'll probably draw out more than 100 credits of value from the opponents just to clear those spots you could be in.
Look at this, 1 minute predicted. Slow orb possibly to the right side. And they know there's a decent amount of commitment now coming over towards this A. Spike, however, has himself back to B. Sick goes down as he holds the same spot, and Durka uses that to his advantage.
Durka, he's just, look at those reactions. Those are Zuma reactions right there, to be certain. Now Dapper backside here, looking to do what he can to try to hold this one off. He's just going to have to try to delay, try to hold on to the backside control, buy time for his teammates to get here. Tens is there now, able to help Dapper as that wall goes down. And this is beautiful. Just enough time bought there by that cage. And now Shazam swings in. Sentinels are looking fantastic.
Oh, yes!
And that
Sentinels won!
will win map 1 in overtime. A huge save from Sentinels. Again, that's going to be a massive sigh of relief from them.
Sentinels
I think
won
they
it.
would have been sweating had they lost this first map.
That's exactly what
So
they are showing
intense.
us. Sighs relief, and I love
So
that you brought that up because the way Fnatic are so hungry, that is not going to be able to happen again from Sentinels. It took going into overtime and resetting the game. Dan, I feel like if there were more rounds to go before we saw an overtime there, Fnatic were just going to pull away enough to take the game. But the game was so close, punch for punch, the rounds came back. And we can see the discussion going on. They're not mad, they're not angry. That is one of the first times we've seen Fnatic leaving the stage, instantly discussing what they were going over.
Yeah, and honestly, that is the best possible way to lose a map in this grand final because you're playing it against Sentinels, definitely a team that's going to be leveled up by individual confidence, and to have a very, very competitive map really push them to the limit, that's going to be the best case in terms of keeping their confidence in check and making sure that you as a team
Nice
feel
round.
like you have the confidence. Now, if we look at
Nice
that game as well, Durka struggled to have the
भाई
impact
पहला
that we
मैप
wanna see
इतना intense
from
भाई
Fnatic, but his
next
team
level
did a
भाई
marvelous job keeping that competitive. So with that said, with map 1 going in favor of Sentinels, we're stepping away for a short break. When we come back, Fnatic fight back for the trophy. We'll see you after this.
तो अब मैं भी चलूँगा, ठीक है? मैं एक ही मैप के लिए रुका था एंड ये मैप खत्म हो गया 12 मिनट। सीन ये है कि मेरे घर में ऐसा सीन है भाई, मैं नहीं बैठ सकता हूँ यहाँ पर, ठीक है? तो मुझे भी चलना पड़ेगा अभी। लेट्स सी गाइस, क्या कर सकते हैं अभी तो बाय बाय फॉर नाउ, सी यू, लव यू ऑल, एंड आई होप सेंटिनल्स विन करे ये ग्रैंड फाइनल्स। बहुत कुछ यार बता नहीं सकता हूँ, मैं चाहता हूँ पर सेंटिनल्स ये ग्रैंड फाइनल्स जीते यार। आई लाइक सेंटिनल, सेंटिनल्स की पूरी टीम को बहुत ही ज़्यादा सपोर्ट करता हूँ, तो आई होप सेंटिनल्स विन दिस। चलो गाइस, बाय बाय, सी यू ऑल, लव यू ऑल।